inhabitation. After that, this bolus will move towards the esophagus. This will move in the esophagus. I'm making here is right, like this is the esophagus, and this is trachea, right? This is trachea. This is glottis of trachea, and this is epiglottis. This is a glottis and this is epiglottis. When the food will move towards the esophagus, this epiglottis will cover this glottis, so that food will move in the esophagus. Now esophagus. Now we are having the esopharyngeal stage. Now we are having the esopharyngeal stage. In this esophagus, and the food will move towards the esophagus. First of all, in pharynx, there's another fold present that called the platopharyngeal fold, right? That is a platopharyngeal fold. Platopharyngeal fold. Basically, this will stop the food to return to the oral cavity. Like in the normal condition, these are wider, right? These folds are present in the pharynx. In the normal condition, they are wider, but when the bolus will come, they will become narrow. After the swallow of food, they will become narrow. Like first, when the food will come, they will become wider, and after that they will become narrow or constrict, so that food cannot move upward to the oral cavity again. So this fold is work for that the oral bolus will not move upward toward the oral cavity. So that is the work of the platopharyngeal fold. After that, we are having pharyngeal stage. In pharyngeal state, peristalsis movement will start in the pharynx. It will start in the pharynx. After that, in pharynx, here I am making, we are having two infectors, upper, and this is a lower. This is upper and this is a lower. Now here, when food will move towards the esophagus upper sphincter, so when bolus will come in the esophagus, there is an upper sphincter present, so this will detect the food, that the food is present in the esophagus. Now the sensory nerve will be impulse will be generated by the sensory nerve. Basically, this impulse will be generated by this whole esopharyngeal stage, or we can say this stage, or we can say detection of the food in the esophagus. This will be the controlled by the vessel motor nerve. Now this is controlled by the vessel motor nerve. Now here, when the food will move here, the upper infector will detect the food, and this will generate the impulse toward the brainstem, and the command will come, so that this is basically in usual condition, this infector is constrict. This is constrict, or we can say this is narrow. But when command will come towards this infector, so that this will become wider. And the food will move from this. After that, the food will come, and here lower infector is same. The impulse will be generated to the brainstem, and the command will come, so this infector will also become wider, so that the food will pass from this. In usual condition, these both are contracted, but when command will come, that the food will be moved in the esophagus, so these will become the wider, and this all is controlled by the vessel motor nerve, right? After that, here in the esophagus, like this is the esophagus, right? Where the upper infector, lower infector, and here circular muscles are present. Here these are the longitudinal, these are the circular, and these are the longitudinal muscles, right? Now here, when food will move here, right, after the upper pharyngeal stage, when bolus will come here, so the circular muscle get contract and the longitudinal muscle will get relaxed. When the bolus will be here, I'm making again, when the bolus will be here, and here circular muscle and here longitudinal, when the bolus will be here present on the upper side of this muscles, this not this circular will be the we can say circular will be the contract and this longitudinal will be the relax. So here I'm making again, right, like this is esophagus, and here circular muscles are present, here longitudinal muscles are present, right, and the bolus is here. When the bolus is here, so these circular muscles are contracted, these are contract and these longitudinal are relaxed when bolus is here. When bolus will come down here, so the circular will get relaxed and this longitudinal will get contract, right? After that, through this like contraction relaxation of these muscles, through this the peristalsis movement will occur. Peristalsis movement will occur through this. Now we are having one question: if the peristalsis movement will, we can say, if it become opposite of this, so what will happen? We have already known about the vomiting, right? So why vomiting happen? The peristalsis movement will go, or we can say it will occur on the opposite side. So like food is here versus it will move up, it will be opposite, so we are getting vomiting, right? So this is called the peristalsis movement. When the peristalsis movement will get opposite, so the food will not come down, it will go up, so that will be called the anti-peristalsis movement. So that was the mechanism of digestion till esophagus.